I might have one. I can't tell though. I worry sometimes, well, we kind of figured out that sometimes if I bring them the camera over near them, they won't talk to me. But I can't tell if this lady's just really on some kind of drug, or I don't hear anything like that. I normally, what you do is you normally look for like Latin and get out of here. I'm not have an audience here. I'm gonna try to walk alongside her too. They got, yeah, they throw out Latin words. Oh my God, it's a cop. Wow, you never see cops up here. That's amazing. They're probably just driving through or going to the substation to collect, to punch in or something. God knows they don't do anything up here. And that's why you have the violence and the crime. Just saw a homeless guy like fucking tank a whole group of people like a family. He was running though, so it's like no, it happened so fast. Yeah, they had a little girl, and he just comes screaming and swearing. He's like, motherfucker, swinging his arms, stinking. That stuff goes on here because there's absolutely no police presence. Like you'd think, right? Let me get out of the way here. You'd think like if you had a place where all the money is coming in, right? And it is. The street right here pays for, oh my God, the fucking, hold on, let me just say, I didn't hear what she's saying. You want a cigarette? Cigarette? I'll give you a new one. I'm giving you a cigarette. How you doing? Are you okay? What happened? Oh, here you go. Here's some new ones. Are you all right tonight? Everything going okay?
I died, man. I don't know.
Everything all right? Oh, you need a lighter? Yeah, I'll give you a lighter. I have a ton of lighters at home. Here, keep this one. You can have that one. Have that one, yeah. Yeah, keep this. Yeah. How are things going, all right? Good. Having a good night, or? Yeah.
It's kind of rude. Yeah.
I hear you. Well, God's got us, you know, you gotta stay good. No, you can have it. I got a bunch at home. All right, you have a good night, dear. Bye-bye. No. Nope. I didn't think so. I usually know like right away. Because you can, I don't know, you kind of sense it. You get the frequency or you do something fucking happens and I can tell. But yeah, you know, it's good to check anyway. But yeah, there's this homeless dude coming up the street. And I've seen her on there before, yelling at people and carrying on and just causing trouble, right? Stinking. Because that's like a passive aggressive thing. They can shower. There's showers on the beach, but not showering is like a passive aggressive way to say, fuck you, I'm homeless, so fuck you. It's like, dude, it's not my fault. I feel bad, right? I mean, most people do, right? But it's not my fault. So he comes tearing, there's this group of people walking. There's like a Asian family with a little girl, old woman, and there's a young couple behind them, haoles with a surfboard. And he just, I don't know what, I saw him come through the crowd swinging. You know, they kind of made room for him. They jumped out of his way and he's like, fuck, I'll kill you all. And then once he got clear of them, he just ran. He ran down the road. And I've seen him do shit like that before. That kind of shit goes on here unfucking checked. Because like I was saying, the cops, they're fucking useless here. There was one, like, I don't know, a week ago, right? He was standing over on the corner and I was blown away. I'm like, I want to thank this guy. I'm like, hey, thank you, sir, for being out here. You know, it's he basically told me to fuck off with his hands and made some kind of, I'm like, oh, all right. I kept walking. You never know. The fucking guy could fucking throw me on the ground and fucking put crack on. That's just look. Just here's the thing you do. Google search Hawaii police corruption and fucking get ready. Just pages and pages. Or just look up Hawaii corruption. It makes Massachusetts look straight, you know. I'm from Massachusetts. I used to think that was the fucking most corrupt place. This place, I've said it before, from the corner store to the tallest building downtown, everybody's got a scam going. Laws are followed, especially federal laws. Federal laws are just not, because they don't consider themselves part of America, which is fine, but they'll take all the money, right? They'll take all the money, but they don't want to, you know, they don't want to do the hard stuff. They don't want to abide by anything. It's like, well, you know, I'm not going to go into a Hawaii history lesson, but they've never been really good with telling people, I don't know, I'm not going to get into it. Before I moved here, I didn't know much about it, you know, and it was such a overnight decision to move here. It basically we talked about it, I think Friday night, and by early Sunday morning we were on a plane. My mother-in-law was having a hard time with her mother, who had come down with Alzheimer's and dementia. And Nia and I had just lived with my mom for a while, who had Alzheimer's and dementia, so it's a fucking handful. So I had just left the gig I had in Boston. She was working for her family back there too, so we were just like, we were just kind of floating around, you know? And we're like, let's just go move out there for 6 months or whatever, help your mom, because she was on her way out, her grandmother. Or so they said. 6 years later, she was still alive. She's gone now. But she hung in there for a long time. So we ended up just staying here. And I got to like the place. I love the place. I love it here. I love the natural... Oh, another cop. Holy shit. What's going on down here? Oh, they're giving out free coffee somewhere? Fucking useless. I like the natural beauty of the place. You know, the land, the island is beautiful. Everything else about it is a fucking toss-up, you know. I don't know. So before we moved here, I didn't know much about it, and I remember being on the plane, like fucking all anxietied out, because I wanted to learn as much as I could about the place. So when I got here, you know, you want to learn about people's culture. I know it really wasn't America. It's an occupied territory. It's not. The U.S. really doesn't own the place. It's a military base, disguised as a U.S. state, a travel destination, a place for holiday. It's like I said before, it's a tank with a postcard on top of it. But I was afraid, you know, just being some like, you know, your regular Howley, just moving in here and not knowing anything about the culture and the people. But so I was just cramming, and I'm pretty good at research. It was a big part of my job for many years. And the more I learned about it, the more it's just like, fuck, man. You know? I don't know. I don't even want to get into it. But anyway, there's a way things are kind of done here, you know? A lot of times the people that have gotten themselves into positions of power, whether it's politics, like local politics, they throw their own people under the fucking bus constantly. And they've done that since the very first fucking ship of white skin showed up here. No, trust us, guys. Give these guys your women, and they're gonna give us boxes of these shiny ship nails. Are you sure? Trust me. And then each guy in the village gets one ship nail, and the asshole that made the deal walks off with 2 cases of them. And that's never changed. And that's just how it is. And that's how it is here. I mean, what they did, and I've talked about it so many times, it's fucking like a broken record now, but the way they threw out all the generational islanders, Native Hawaiians, Samoans, people that have lived here for years, they were forced off the island, forced to move to the mainland because they were just priced out. When they left all the spaces that they used to live in, the federal government came in and said, hey, whoever owns this land and these houses, since it's an emergency situation, because it was COVID time, and laws mean whatever we want them to. If you look at what you can do during an emergency, it's fucking insane. You basically have no rights. So they said to these landowners, hey, you know, these people can't pay, you know, they gotta all move. Some of them that didn't move to the mainland are fucking homeless, or they're living in the fucking woods. They said, well, make your places low-income housing. Not so we can give it back to the generational islanders, Native Hawaiians. No, so we can import people from the mainland and from another continent. The same continent where they're importing people all over the world right now. You know, I'm talking about it. I don't want to get into it. So they did a huge shift. It was a demographic shift, really. They got rid of the islanders and they brought in people. Because what happened is, see, I'm going to get into this long story. They didn't want the islanders here anymore because they weren't going to be tools for the beast. The beast likes to have its golems who will burn a fucking city down if they tell them to. And the islanders weren't going to do that. So they had to bring in people that would. And they did. And that's all you see now, you know, is these new people who came in during the lockdowns, and this happened all around the world. I know it sounds like a crazy, like, schizo conspiracy thing, but whatever, you know, it's not. You know, there's a paper trail here, you can find all this information. But don't believe me. So they brought in, like, just all these people and got rid of all the islanders, because these new people are reliant on the government for their lives. They pay for their housing and their food and all this other stuff. So they control these people in a way they didn't control the generational islanders that lived here. You know, and you had that going on. When with that shift came the almost 50% jump in crime over one calendar year. Because turns out that you have more respect for a place your family comes from than if you don't. Whereas, you know, there's rough people in every group, you know, but the islanders weren't attacking local businesses because, you know, it's their home. They have respect for the area. These new people who are coming from the mainland or from Kenya do not have any respect for anybody. And when I say it's a jump in crime, I mean violent crime. Attacks, robberies, assaults, murders, just shit we've never had here before, came with this influx of new people. And they're very careful to only bring a specific kind of person here. You know, no one's coming from fucking Europe, you know. Well, Europeans don't need to, you know, they can take care of their own shit. But, yeah, so you have that, too. And it's just a bummer, because this place it's really changed. It's not what it was even 5 years ago, you know. And the cops, getting back to that, don't come around. There's no presence here at all. It's almost like they want to have, well, it's not almost like, it's because they do. They want these cities to become hot zones. They want them to become super chaotic, super violent, super dangerous, so then they can swoop in and save the population from themselves. Well, you know, you guys, things are getting crazy there. We need a curfew. It's more control, more control, more control, tyranny. That's how this fucking works, and that's what's going on all around the world. People are being used as biological weapons. That's what they're doing, you know. So, I mean, on the one hand, I say, Why aren't the cops here? But like, I know why they're not here. I know why they're not here. And also another thing too is if they were busing people, they'd have to put that in the police log. The police log will go in the paper, and then that hurts tourism. They want to be able to lure more people in here to get robbed and assaulted. I had a commenter who is a native Hawaiian in one of my videos saying, "Oh, you know, you shouldn't tell people not to come here." I'm like, yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but I don't think, they probably don't live around here. You know, they probably live on another part of the island or something, and don't know what's happening here. You know, I do. You know, as you see, I'm out here every day. I have a lot of video evidence of this. Usually the same, like 5 or 6 streets, granted, but yeah, it's don't come here. It's a fucking trap. You know, and you know what? There's nothing to do here anyway. Where do you have a beach? It's prohibitively expensive. Everything costs so much money. It's insane. There's no security whatsoever. I guess if you're a criminal, come here because you can fucking get away with anything. You know? Man, I don't mean to be so negative, but I always leave the house with like these great ideas about what we're going to talk about. I'm like, you know, I'm going to talk about this thing in the Bible. Like, I wanted to talk about some stuff in the Bible that gets misrepresented and what it actually means. So I'll probably try to do that tomorrow. But then I come outside and I see the insanity that's going on out here. The perverse human retardation that's shuffling along the streets out of here. And my mind goes to what the fuck happened in my neighborhood, you know? And what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I'm a broken record at this point. It's alright though. You know, as the saying goes, a broken record is right 3 times a day. Right? That's how that goes, right? Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.